जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांगो गंधर्विका गिरिधारी जीव की जय। जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांगो श्री राधा मदन मोहन पंचतत्त्वात्मक श्री गौर हरि की जय। जय नित्यलीला जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांगो श्री राधा नायननाथ जीव की जय। जय श्री गौर नित्यानंद प्रभु की जय। जय श्री जगन्नाथ देव की जय। जय नित्यलीला परिस्तोम विष्णुपाद परमहंसा स्तत्र सचशिला भक्ति वल्लभ तीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय। जय नित्यलीला परिस्तोम विष्णुपाद परमहंसा स्तत्र सचशिला भक्ति दैता माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। जय नित्यलीला परिस्तोम विष्णुपाद परमहंसा स्तत्र सचशिला भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। जय परमहंसा शिल गौर किशोर दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय शिशिल सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। जय वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिला जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। जय श्री रूपानुग गुरुवरे की जय। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्री वासुदेव गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपी गो गोवर्धन वृंदावन श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद आत्मक श्री ब्रज मंदिर की जय। जय श्री नवद्वीप धाम की जय। जय श्री पुरुषोत्तम धाम की जय। जय श्री बलदेव सुभद्रा जगन्नाथ श्री सुदर्शन चक्र जीव की जय। जय श्री वृंदा देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। जय सर्वविघ्न विनाशनकारी श्री नृसिंह देव की जय। जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। जय समागत भक्त वृंद की जय। जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। गौर परमानंदे हरि बोल। वंदे हम श्री गुरो श्री जुता पदकमला श्री गुरु वैष्णवांश्च श्री रूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितंश्च श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Shri Advaita Gadadara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, 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 Hari Bol. We are hearing SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. We heard Dhruva exactly followed the instructions of his guru Narad Goswami. Then after 6 months he got darshan, vision of Supreme Lord, and immediately he was fully in devotion after getting darshan, and he wanted to sing his glories but did not know how to articulate. So then Supreme Lord, seeing his heart, he blessed him with that conch shell, that is transcendental conch shell. Then everything was revealed in Dhruva's heart, all Vedic conclusions, Siddhanta, and realization. So these prayers, what he's speaking, this is realized knowledge, not heard or read or theoretical, no, realized knowledge. Not everyone can understand what he's speaking. But this is real Harikatha, because it is Supreme Lord behind. He blessed. And now by that blessing, Dhruva is speaking. And Dhruva told, we heard in first verse, I feel now that you entered into me, your potency, internal potency entered into me, and all my sleeping senses awakened, and my mind, everything awakened. Before it was sleeping because engaged only in material things. But now, by your grace, everything is awakened to serve you. That is transcendental senses. That is different. Ata Shri Krishna Namadina Bhavid Grajyam Indre Sevan Mukhi Jivado Swayam Eva Spuratyada. When one will with service attitude do service of Supreme Lord under the guidance of pure devotee, then Supreme Lord, He by His own will appear on the tongue and all senses and mind to serve Him. So we heard that there are spiritual worlds by His internal potency, and then there He has His own form and actually unlimited forms. Then in this material world He also manifests as Paramatma behind or inside all material varieties. Then also we heard that Brahma is fully surrendered to you by your grace. When you gave him knowledge, that time he understood what is his duty. Like someone who wakes up in the morning, then he understands, oh, I have to do this, I have to do, I'm employed in that company, this is my duty, everything. So like that, Brahma understood what is his duty. Then lastly we heard, how therefore can a learned, yes, you are the only shelter of all persons who desire liberation, and you are the friend of all who are distressed. How therefore can a learned person who has perfect knowledge ever forget you? Perfect knowledge means realized knowledge. Once you get that glimpse even, you can never forget, because it is something different than any kind of experience in this world. That is totally different, and it is blissful and very enlightening. So how you can forget? Nunam vimushta mataya stava mayate ye tvam bhavapyaya vimokshanam anya hetoho archanti kalpaka tarum kuna popa bhogyam ichanti yat sparshajam nirayepi nrinam. Persons who worship you simply for the sense gratification of this bag of skin are certainly influenced by your illusory energy. In spite of having you, who are like a desire tree and are the cause of liberation from birth and death, foolish persons such as me desire benedictions from you for sense gratification, which is available even for those who live in hellish conditions. Here Dhruva is realizing his previous state, and he's regretting. Later also he will regret. We are worshipping you but for this bodily benefit. That is foolishness. You can give liberation from this repeated birth and death, but we want something to improve our material condition, which is by itself full of suffering. Suffering at the time of birth, death, old age, disease, and threefold afflictions by your body and mind, by other living entities, and by natural catastrophes all the time. Everyone has to. So only to try to little ameliorate or improve this material condition, that will not solve the problem. And those who worship you, it is like you are going to king and you are asking for few pennies. It is foolishness. Or if you become a son of a king, then everything is yours. To ask something from him is less intelligent. But to become of him, then everything is automatically yours. But of course for his service, but in that you will get happiness. So he's saying, you can give liberation, but I am such a foolish person. I worshipped you for some worldly sense gratification. This is available to everyone, even those who are in hellish condition. There is some sense gratification. Eating, sleeping, mating, defending. So we have to get teaching from this. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was hearing this topic again and again. to give us teaching that you hear and you think about this. As I told, Mahaprabhu told, Nadhanam na janam na sundarim, I am not desiring anything from you, Supreme Lord. I only want causeless devotion to you, birth after birth. If we chant with such mentality, then we will get prem. Otherwise, if we have some other desires, then we will get that, because Harinam is Chintamani. What you desire, you will get. As I told before, in previous life, Dhruva, he was one Brahmin and he was poor, but he had one friend who was prince. So sometimes he used to visit his house. There he saw, oh, very nice opulence. If I would also be a son of a king, then I would also get, I will enjoy. So he was chanting, doing his Brahminical duties and chanting. Then, but desiring that thing, that is why he got it. And he wanted more, but now he's realizing this is actually foolishness. And those who desire like this, it proves they are certainly influenced by your illusory energy. Means misconception of self is there, and from misconception of self, from false ego, also wrong desires are there. We heard on the day of Sanatana Goswami's disappearance, Sanatana Goswami asked, who am I? If I don't know, then how it can be good for me? If I think I am this body, then my whole attention will be what is good for this body and to avoid what is not good. Then someone can realize that beyond this body there is also subtle body, mind, intelligence, ego, and he thinks that is me, then he will develop that thing. But if someone realizes that neither gross, neither subtle material body, but beyond those two, there is a spirit soul and belongs to Krishna, then he will surely try for spiritual development. Automatically, he will understand that is my need. He will also take care of this gross and subtle body, but in relation to attaining his eternal welfare. In that relation, in favor of that. He will not deny it, but will use it, care properly and use it for getting that goal. Ya nivriti stanu britam tava pada padma dhyanat bhavat jana katha shravanena vasyat sabrahmani sva mahimanyapi natama bhut kim tvantakasi lulitat patatam vimanat. My Lord, the transcendental bliss derived from meditating upon your lotus feet or hearing about your glories from pure devotees is so unlimited that it is far beyond the stage of Brahmananda, wherein one thinks himself merged in the impersonal Brahman as one with the Supreme. Since Brahmananda is also defeated by the transcendental bliss derived from devotional service, then what to speak of the temporary blissfulness of elevating oneself to the heavenly planets, which is ended by the separating sword of time? Although one may be elevated to the heavenly planets, he falls down in due course of time. So here we see meditating on Supreme Lord's lotus feet, his transcendental form, or hearing about him from realized soul, pure devotee, that is one and the same. It is same because Harikatha is not different from him. So if you attentively hear, then you will get that transcendental bliss. Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur, he told, Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya from Gita, that pranipat means surrender, means to hear Harikatha attentively. That means one really surrendered to Supreme Lord. To hear Harikatha attentively. So, here Dhruva, now he understood, by getting realization, he understood that this bliss is higher than Brahmanda. And don't think that Brahmananda is something little thing. You will find in Taittiriya Upanishad, once I read here, that like bliss when one healthy man gets in this world by enjoying in different way, healthy man, that is 100 times more than that Pitriloka people will get. Then 100 times more than that Indra will get, and then Gandharva, like this. I forgot how, but it is like 100 times more. It is coming many times. Then it comes to Brahmananda, that is the bliss of Brahma Jyoti, means that light which is coming from Supreme Lord. There it is written that no one can say, mind cannot think, and words cannot say what kind of bliss that is. Because that is transcendental. It is beyond any measurement of this world or imagination or anything. But first there is like gradation of bliss, and then when it comes to Brahmananda, it is beyond expression. You cannot say it or think of it, because that is unlimited. Before that, there is even that is Biraja river, what realized Buddhists, they attain, that is a kind of happiness in the sense of less suffering. Like in this world and heavenly planets, there are waves of suffering because it is going on. Some enjoyment, and then due to attachment and time, suffering. So there are waves of suffering. But when you come beyond attachment, where there is no creation, no enjoyment, there is no creation, so there is no waves of suffering. So that is less suffering, and one may feel it like happiness, but it is not positive happiness. It is only removal of certain suffering. But that is still a kind of suffering in comparison to bliss of Brahmananda. To get in touch with that Brahma Jyoti, here it is written, he thinks himself merged into Brahma Jyoti, means he identifies with that and he thinks he is same, but it is not actually merging. He does not lose his individuality. He thinks there is no difference, but he may fall down from there, or he may progress further into Premananda, Sevananda, because individuality of spirit soul is never lost. Only he thinks there is no differentiation of any kind, and that he is alone and like this. He is thinking. But it is not a fact, because Upanishad says Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. He is one eternal among many eternals, and he is one conscious among many conscious, chief. So eternality of soul is always there. You may think like you are one with Brahma Jyoti, or you are one with Paramatma, but you are not actually merged. Like that you lose for all time individuality. That is not. So that Brahmananda is positive bliss. It is not just removal of suffering, but it is positive bliss. But there are no waves of bliss there. That is why Jiva, soul, cannot be happy there, fully happy there. Although there is no suffering of any kind, but cannot be fully fulfilled, because Jibar Swarup Hai Krishna Nita Das, our eternal identity is we are eternal servant of Krishna. Unless that is fulfilled, you cannot be happy. So, this Shukadev Goswami, he was in Brahmananda, but got attracted to Seva of Supreme Lord, service of Supreme Lord, by hearing Bhagavatam, and became fully pure devotee. Then also for Kumaras, you remember, they came to Vaikuntha and they got the scent of Tulsi offered to the lotus feet of Narayan. Then they gave up Brahmananda. Then they felt that is like a sinful activity to meditate on Brahmajyoti, because we are eternal servants of Krishna. So here Dhruva also now realizes this, that meditating on Supreme Lord or hearing about Him means devotional service. That is far greater bliss than even this Brahmananda which you cannot express in any material words. What to speak of Sivananda? And if even this Brahmananda is defeated by the bliss from devotional service, then what to speak of bliss or happiness in heavenly planets? Here he is speaking about heavenly planets. Then what to speak of this world? In heavenly planets, you do so many pious activities, then you will go there, you will become Indra or some associate. Then there, this sense gratification pleasure is 1,000 times more and very long and very enjoyable, but that is also temporary. Up to Brahmaloka, highest in the material world, the Brahma, that is also temporary. So once you exhaust those pious activities, then you will have to again fall down to this earth. So if these heavenly planets, what to speak of, then what to speak of this world? But because we are not having any higher realization, that is why we are very much attached to this worldly sense enjoyment. We think it is very good because we have no any other experience. But everything is separated by this sword of time. We get and we lose. That is why the Buddhists say if you are attached, then you will have to suffer. Because inevitably it will change, inevitably you will lose. So if you will be attached, this is mine and for me, then you will suffer. So don't be attached, then you will not have suffering. But that is not solution. We want happiness, but we require eternal happiness. Then there is no more problem. But eternal happiness, that this service of Krishna, not Brahmananda. Brahmananda also cannot satisfy. Vyasadeva got, but he was not satisfied. Bhakti muhuh pravahatam tvai me prasango bhuyat ananta mahatam amala shayanam yenanja solbanam uru vyasanam bhavabdhim nesye bhavad guna katamrita pana mata. Bhavabdhim means ocean of bhava. Dhruva Maharaj continued, O unlimited Lord, kindly bless me so that I may associate with great devotees who engage in your transcendental loving service constantly, as the waves of a river constantly flow. This we have to get this teaching from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, listening this to give us teaching. You again and again you hear this point. What Dhruva is praying now. Before he was thinking, if I will get greater position, material position than my father, grandfather, great-grandfather, even Brahma, if I will get, then I will be happy. But now he's praying, I want association of your devotee, pure devotee, one who realized Krishna is eternal, I am eternal, devotion to him will be eternal. So they are constantly serving him and they are constantly tasting that transcendental bliss, pratipadang purnamrita swadanam. So if we get in touch with such devotees, then by their association, our devotion to Supreme Lord will be enkindled, will be awakened. And the devotion is what we require. So that is why he's praying for this. Such transcendental devotees are completely situated in an uncontaminated state of life. That is pure life. We hear about definition of bhakti, sarvopadi vinirmuktam tat paratana nirmalam. When one is free from all upadis, all worldly identifications, gross and subtle. But then later it says also tat paratena nirmalam. So if you are only free from all material designations, Buddhists also they do. Not fully, but Gyanis they fully remove that identification with any matter. Buddhists they identify with Viraja. That is impersonal, but it is Viraja. And this Brahma Jyoti is also impersonal, but it is superior than that. It's positive. But still this is not considered as pure. Why? Because tat paratena nirmalam, you also have to know and you have to realize that you belong to tat. You are of him. Om Hari Om Tat Sat. Tat means that, beyond means Supreme Lord. That which is Sat, what is Tat is also Sat. So you belong to him. There is an eternal relation with him. Nitya Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam. So only when you realize that you are of him, then you are pure. And your life will be uncontaminated life. Because what is contamination or what is impurity? Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained, when one thing is in its natural state, that means pure. But immediately when there is something covering, that is impure. So for Jiva, pure life or uncontaminated life means only this. When you realize who you are eternally, eternal servant of Krishna, when you are engaged in his service, that is actually pure state of Jiva. And that is pure life, healthy life, and always blissful life. By the process of devotional service, I shall surely be able to cross the nascent ocean of material existence, which is filled with the waves of blazing fire-like dangers. It will be very easy for me, for I am becoming mad to hear about your transcendental qualities and pastimes which are eternally existent. Here Dhruva is praying, I want association of your devotees, because bhaktistu bhagavad bhakta sangena parijayate. By association with real devotee, we can get devotion. Get devotion means devotion in our heart will be that eternally existing devotion. Yesterday I was telling, it is already there existing, that will be awakened or unblocked, or that rust will be removed, then it will be manifested. That is possible by association of real devotees. Then devotion will be there, and by devotion one can have uncontaminated life, and that eternal bliss. And Dhruva now, he is very eager. I want this. I want to hear from those devotees about your transcendental eternal qualities and pastimes. They're all the time existing. So I want to hear. Then you will realize that, and you will realize yourself what role you have to play in those pastimes. We each have our unique role in those pastimes. So that is our real healthy condition that we have to realize by devotional practice. Te na smarantyati taram priyam ishamartyam ye chanvadah sutta suhrid grihavita dara ye tvabja nabha bhavadiya padaravinda sogandhya lubda hridayeshu krita prasanga. O Lord, who have a lotus navel, if a person happens to associate with a devotee whose heart always hankers after your lotus feet, seeking always their fragrance, he is never attached to the material body or in a bodily relationship to offspring, friends, home, wealth, and wife, which are very, very dear to materialistic persons. Indeed, he does not care for them, or means he does not care to exploit them. He cares for them, but in relation to Krishna. That is another thing, another bhav, another mood. So, here it is written, if a person happens to associate with devotee, pure devotee, then he will never be attached. Then that question that devotee asked our Gurudev in England, it is stated in Shastra, sadhu sanga sarva shastra koi lava matra sadhu sanga sarva siddhi hoy. By a moment's association with sadhu, one will get all perfection. But why I'm not getting? I got so much association with sadhus, but I'm not getting all perfection. And Guru said, yes, in association of sadhu, you get the clue of what is the reality, but you have to act accordingly. Then you can realize. And Guru said, but you should not be disappointed, because there are degrees of this, of sadhu sangha and attainment of that perfection. There are degrees. And Gurudev gave that example that there were some brahmacharis in the mat, and means for one, Gurudev was saying, and he was serving, and for a few years he was staying in the mat, but then after he got attracted and he got married and was living family life. But after many years, when Gurudev was preaching in Assam, then in one village, Gurudev did not know, but just the Harikatha program was there. Then someone from the audience told to Gurudev, you spoke very nicely, but here in our village, there is also one very nice devotee like you. He's also very learned and he's speaking like you. I think you should meet him. Then Guru said, yes, I want to meet the devotee of Krishna. Then he met, and then Gurudev saw that that is that same brahmachari. And he was not, though he was staying in household life, but he was not attached to anything. he was not doing any prohibited things and was not attached and not associating with others and little keeping, and was doing bhajan, and was not interested. He kept a little aloof from all those materialistic things which generally materialistic people they do. So Gurudev told, although like outwardly we may see like a failure in Gauriya Math, but he was the greatest there in that village for only few years, and he understood for some period of time, little he took that enjoyment, then he understood what is the nature of that, then he was not interested in doing bhajan. So whatever amount we get and we achieve, that is not going in vain, never. And then it will accumulate, and gradually we can attain that perfection. And another example, like worldly example, Gurudev told, but it is applicable to devotional progress also. One village also there in Assam. So generally they are like farmers and they do that from parents to children like this. Many, what is the English word? I forgot. Many generations. Generation by generation they do just farming. But once one boy, he was inclined, I want some education and I will take some job or something. So his father, he somehow, he collected some money and then that boy was sent for education, and he was studying, but after class 6, 2 times he failed and he could not go further. So then he had to come back to village. Then other boys, they start to ridicule him. Like, make fun of him. You thought you will be a great learned person, but you failed. Now again you came here, you are like us, like this. But it was not totally same. Why? Because one day from government, that was still in British time, from government one notice came and no one could understand what was written there. So then they called this boy, and that boy, though he could not complete that full education, but he came up to 6th class. So he knew some English, and he read that letter and he told, yes, government wants tax this and this much and up to this date. Otherwise, they will capture land or something. So, though he was not like fully learned, but still what he knew was very useful. So like that, we should not be disappointed. How much sadhu sangha we got, how much we heard, how much we practiced and realized, that is not going in vain. It will help you. It will define you certain experiences which otherwise you will not be able to properly define as if with that kind of knowledge and experience. So here Dhruva Maharaj is saying, if one associates with pure devotee, that means gradually, by following his instruction, then gradually one will lose all attachment to material body and everything related to this material body, will not care, means to exploit, to enjoy. He will care, but in relation to the service of Supreme Lord, in relation to devotional practice, he will do. But he is not interested to enjoy that. If he has devotion, then he will not be interested to enjoy. Tiryan Naga Dvija Sari Sripa Deva Daitya Martyadibih Parichitam Sat Asad Vishesham Rupam Stavishtam ajate mahat adyanekam natah paramparam avedmina yatra vada. My dear Lord, O Supreme Unborn, I know that the different varieties of living entities, such as animals, trees, birds, reptiles, demigods, and human beings, are spread throughout the universe, which is caused by the total material energy. And I know that they are sometimes manifest and sometimes unmanifest. But I have never experienced the supreme form I behold as I see you now. Now all kinds of methods of theorizing have come to an end. That material energy, total material energy, sometimes manifests when there is creation. Then all these different kinds of species, they come out and they do work according to their previous karma from previous cycle, and then when there is dissolution, they become unmanifest. Their karma becomes sleeping, but then again it will manifest like this. This is all the time happening. This is like a Virat Rupa. But that there is not only this Virat Rupa, there is also transcendental beyond these material universes, that eternal transcendental form of Supreme Lord is existing. And like our Gurudev told, reality is, if reality is reality, it is always existing, that Brahma. So you can, there is no use of trying to manufacture it, imagine it, like by your mental or intellectual factory, concoct it. That will not be reality, like philosophers they try to. Philosophia, love of knowledge. Which kind of knowledge? Empiric knowledge. What is gathered by senses and then by reasoning and argument. They try to find out the truth. But it is not possible because senses of human being are non-eternal. What you gather information and what you categorize will also be non-eternal. So how you will realize eternal truth? By those things. You cannot imagine that reality. That is beyond perception of gross and subtle senses. It is always existing. You have to find a way to realize that truth. You need not manufacture it, but you have to find a way to realize it. There is a process, that is Darshan Shastra, how you can see, not how to create or trying to speculate and imagine and categorize and so on, philosophize. No, that is beyond, but it is existing. You have to find the way. That is why Darshan Shastra comes, to give us the way. First, to tell us the news about that reality. It is existing. Om means yes, it is existing. So then you have to follow that process to realize. Now Dhruva realized that eternal truth. And he said, now all theorizing, all philosophizing this thing, all finished, no use. And you can clearly see that by any amount of your imagination or reasoning or whatever, you cannot come to that reality. It is impossible. Cannot reach. That is self-effulgent and is always existing. By His grace you can understand. Yes. Kalpanta etat akhilam jatharena grinan shete puman swadrik ananta sakas tatanke yan nabi sindhu ruha kanchana loka padma garbe dyuman bhagavate pranatosmi tasmai. My dear Lord, at the end of each millennium, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Garbhodakashai Vishnu, dissolves everything manifested within the universe into his belly. He lies down on the lap of Sheshanag. From his navel sprouts a golden lotus flower on a stem, and on that lotus Lord Brahma is created. I can understand that you are the same Supreme Godhead. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you. There is three Purusha avatars, Karandakashai, Garbhodakashai and Kshirodakashai. Here Sai Maharaj told, Lord Kshirodakashai Vishnu was present before Dhruva Maharaj, who could also understand the Lord's two other forms, namely Garbhodakashai Vishnu and Karanodakashai Mahavishnu. They are all non-different from each other, but they are doing different kind of pastime. Karanodakashai Vishnu, he manifests innumerable universes from his pores. Then by Garbhodakashai Vishnu, he enters into every one of them, presiding deity of all. And as Kshirodakashai Vishnu, he is presiding deity of one, and also in the heart as Paramatma, and in every atom. But they are one and the same person, only doing different pastimes. So Dhruva understood from Garbhodakashai Vishnu, from whom Lord Brahma will appear after the dissolution, that Vishnu, that is you. Like king in harem and king in court, same person, but different lila. But is same person, different pastime. Tvam nitya mukta parishuddha vibhuddha atma kutasta adipurusho bhagavan striyadisha yat buddhyavastitim akhanditaya swadrishtya drashta stito adi adhimakho vyatirikta ase. My Lord, by your unbroken transcendental glance, you are the supreme witness of all stages of intellectual activities. You are eternally liberated. Your existence is situated in pure goodness, and you are existent in the super soul without change. You are the original personality of Godhead, full with six opulences, and you are eternally the master of the three modes of material nature. Thus, you are always different from the ordinary living entities. As Lord Vishnu, you maintain all the affairs of the entire universe, and yet you stand aloof and are the enjoyer of the results of all sacrifices. He sees everything. What we are doing, what we are thinking, he sees everything. Because he is beyond this, he is eternally liberated and in Vishuddha Sattva. There are three gunas of material nature, and beyond that there is Vishuddha Sattva, only pure Sattva, pure existence that is beyond. He is always in that state. And super soul in the heart of every living entity without change, means he never changes. All these things in this world, they're all the time changing by the force of time. And that time also is Krishna, one manifestation. So no one can defeat, no one can stop the time. No. You have to adjust the time. You cannot change the time. But the super soul and also soul, the liberated soul, they're without change. That time has no influence on them. They're beyond time, this material time. There is no pressure there. No hurry, no pressure, no fear of death, losing. No. There is relief is there. We cannot imagine what kind of relief is there when you are situated on eternal platform. It is different than just without being attached. Then you are not bothered by the changes. But to be out of material energy, there is no time. That is more relief. And then there is eternal service that will fulfill you. And also you are not only super soul, you are Bhagavan with full opulences, Supreme Lord Almighty with all beauty, all fame, all strength, all knowledge, all renunciation, all wealth, power, everything. And he's doing his eternal pastimes with his associates in transcendental realms. That is you. And you are the master of this material world. Trigunas, you as Vishnu, as one his avatar or one form, he maintains these affairs in this material world, Trigunas, how they work. According to how jivas they work, he will give the fruit. And he will also enjoy the results of sacrifices. So, Supreme Lord is always different than living entities in conditioned state and also in liberated state. Always there is difference. Mayavadis, they think now there is difference due to Maya. But after meditation, then I will become supreme. There is no difference. That is not correct. As I told you, may think so by being in Brahma Jyoti, but your eternal identity is there existing also, but it is not manifested. It has no material form, but also not manifested spiritual form. But you can get both. If you will not accept manifestation of spiritual form, then again you will have to come down to enjoy this material world. So in all phases, Jiva is always different from Supreme Lord. Nitya Nityanam, Chaitanas Chaitananam. But we may be in different states according to our relation with Krishna. If you are averse, then we are conditioned. If we are for him, we are liberated. Okay, then up to this point today. Tomorrow we will hear about Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and if there will be some more time, then we can continue. Otherwise, later on we will continue this topic. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Hari Bol 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 Jai Shri Shri Guru Gaurango Gandharvika Giridhari Ji ki Jai Jai Shri Shri Guru Gaurango Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Panchatatatmak Shri Gaura Hari ki Jai Jai Shri Shri Guru Gaurango Shri Shri Radha Nayana Nath Ji ki Jai Jai Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki Jai Jai Shri Jagannath Dev ki Jai Jai Patit Pavan Shila Gurudev ki Jai Jai Shila Parang Gurudev ki Jai Jai Shila Prabhupada ki Jai Jai Shri Rupanuga Guruvare ki Jai Jai Shri Panchatattva Prabhu ki Jai Jai Shri Brinda Devi Tulsi Devi ki Jai Jai Sarva Vigna Vinashanakari Shri Nrsimha Dev ki Jai Jai Shri Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai Jai Shri Dhruva Maharaj ki Jai Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Brinda ki Jai Jai Samagatam Bhakta Brinda ki Jai Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai Gaur Pramanande Hari Bol. Thank you all. Nandavat Pranam. Hari Bol.